Second D-Day this past weekend. Lost and stuck in pain. I spent my youth dreaming of a life partner, someone who would be with me forever, who would stand by me come hell or high water. What I thought I found was that and more. She made me laugh, made me have higher hopes for the future. Believed I could be and do more than ever before. The passion and romance was unlike anyone I had been with before. 5 years in, I lived what I thought would be the worst day of my life, D-Day. Found out that for the entire relationship she had multiple partners. I didn't even catch her. She confessed because her guilt got to her. She begged for forgiveness and swore to change. I didn't know what to do, and her church family pressured me to forgive her. That if I forgave and showed her God's redeeming love, that she could repent and He would restore our marriage. My life felt like a living hell for the first year, but I did it. I let her back in my bed. I, somehow, never used it against her, never complained about my pain, never tried to make her feel worse. My pastor convinced me that as her husband, it was my duty to think of how she felt, how hard it must have been to confess, etc. But, with a lot of patience and time, I finally made it through. She made me feel guilty when I asked for counseling, so we managed it completely alone. It was 3 years before we could have sex without being disgusted and feeling humiliated, but I never turned her down, because it's my duty as a husband. She wanted kids right after she confessed. I told her I couldn't go there yet. She said she understood and would wait as long as I needed. A month later, she complained that it was taking too long. Blamed me for dragging things out and slowing the healing process. This weekend, after being distant for a while, I asked her outright if she's been cheating again. She waited a long time and finally said yes. I asked if she wanted a divorce and she said no, that she wants to find a way to work things out. She did admit that she wouldn't blame me if I left her, and that I probably wouldn't be able to get over it anyway. I still have to go to work and put on a straight face, even when I only got an hour of sleep due to the adrenaline and the pain in my chest. I can barely function as a human being. I almost never cry. Even the first time she confessed, I only cried twice. I'm not proud of that, it's just a fact. Since she told me, I have cried at least once every day. Every time I drag myself back onto my feet and catch my breath, something pops into my head that I'll never be able to enjoy again because of her. I want to leave her, but I don't want to lose what I thought I had, even if it was never real. I was actually in a place where I didn't just accept having kids, I wanted them, longed for them. And now, if I ever have them, it will be with someone else. Someone who hasn't shared the last 11 years of my life. And I can't even imagine being with another person. It took so long to trust the first time. And then the pain hits again. And I sob. And I grieve the life I'll never have. A few of my friends have been helping me, one of whom has gone through the same thing a few years ago. He keeps reminding me that it's going to hurt for a long time, but it will get better. I accept it as true logically, but it hurts so bad it's hard to believe. Edit, full update to come soon. But for now I want to say a few things. First, I am so overwhelmed by the amount of support you have all poured out for me. I have been deeply moved by the many replied full of empathy, encouragement, and advice. Second, thank you all for helping me gain perspective. I literally thank God that we don't have kids now. Also, I have left my church, looking for a new one. I've explained somewhat to my family and they are very supportive of me. Update. Thank you all so much. I know I'm only a week in, and I know that I have many more ups and downs, but last time I went through this I never even thought about asking for help, or where to look. I struggled for years, and only got back to the same place all over again. I post on here quite a lot, and usually when I'm most lost in the fog and unable to bear the pain. The most amazing thing, though, is that every time I heard exactly what I needed, and so much more. So, about that update. I stupidly tried to help her reconcile again. She showed her true colors by refusing to make a fairly simple concession because it would be rude to her coworkers to make someone change shifts with her with only a week to prepare. She should be so lucky to get off that easy. I felt hurt and rejected and came to this sub and showed all of my stupidity and hurt and weakness, and was supported, empathized with, called out on my shit, and consistently given the obvious advice: she's not going to change, she doesn't care about me, and I need to move on. I contacted a lawyer to begin mediation, a legal process for divorce that can avoid going before a judge. Involving a single lawyer saves time and money if it works, with the understanding that if my STBX drags her feet in any way, I am going straight to NC, file, and have her served. I have told my friends and family, and they have all been incredibly supportive, far beyond what I feared. I'm going to make it out of this, and I can't thank you all enough for helping me get on the right path, because my chump ass was never going to do the smart thing on my own. Edit, added clarity regarding mediation. Second update. So, some good and bad news. Bad news first. I was weak and backpedaled a bit. In a previous post I mentioned that we live several hours away for work right now, and that I gave her a chance to come see me and we could talk things over. She said no, and I started contacting lawyers. I spent the weekend trying to mentally and emotionally move on, only to be shocked a few days later when she knocked on my door tearful and wanting to make things work. I didn't know what to do and just let her in. Things went horrible, alternated between hysterical bonding, really ugly fighting, and pretending nothing was wrong. She did explain a few more things. I finally got to learn what she was up to for those missing weeks of our life. Mostly very, very stupid decisions all around that led her to a downward spiral that actually went lower than the affair. She got to a point where neither she nor I had any respect for her decisions. We found a fantastic counselor who would help us process the experience, but who explicitly was not operating on the assumption we could work it out, and in fact fully supported me saying we were through if that's my decision. After a week and a half she has to go back, and because of legal concerns the therapist says she can only keep seeing us if my wife moves with me, not licensed in multiple states. So, you reluctant agreed to let her quit her job and move with me. I was coming home for the holidays in 5 days after she left, so she just needed to hold out for a few days and we could keep working on things. She made it 3 days before blowing off plans to talk with me in order to go to a party at a group of friends that she supposedly doesn't like or talk to anymore. She thinks it's okay because she brought a friend with her that I know. I get mad and say she fucked up. She asks to talk in the morning and I say that depends entirely on how the night goes and hang up. She texts me immediately and I block her so I can try to get some sleep, had an important day of work ahead of me. I get a call at 9 a.m. from my family asking why my wife can't get a hold of me. I get mad at this and try to call her. She doesn't answer. I start to get suspicious. I realize she is logged into her phone accounts on my laptop. I check her GPS. She left the party when she said she did and went home with her friend like she was supposed to. Then an hour later went back to the apart and stayed all night. Challenged her the next day and she lied repeatedly until I proved that I knew. She tried to accuse me of invading privacy, but I didn't let her change the subject. I told her this proved once and for all that I can never trust her again. She is asking for another chance, but I don't think that I can. I'm staying with really good friends right now, and they are helping me set and keep good boundaries. Hopefully no more fuck-ups in the future. Was embarrassed to update because I was doing so well and then screwed it up. Back to pushing for divorce.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to support the channel, check out the link in the description with selected items you might like. See you tomorrow in the next story on R Cupid.
Bye.